Hey everyone! So recently I've been playing this game called Jalopy on Steam. It's one of those driving simulator games where you have to go from point A to point B. You're driving, I believe, a Leica Model 601 with your uncle. It's in this cool kind of low polygon style where the characters don't necessarily have like eyes or mouths and they just have these faces with a little bit of this kind of wacky geometry, which is pretty cool. And it's been a really interesting experience because there's no crazy narrative or this crazy gameplay loop of like crazy systems. It's just drive from point A to point B with the misadventures with this Leica model you have. And I figured I had a really very strange and very foolish experience playing the game. So I thought it would be fun to do sort of a story time, if you will, where I try to tell you the tale of my attempt to get to Turkey in the game, which is like the end point. My name here on YouTube is Pollymacho, for those who don't know me, or for those you do, hey, good to see you guys. What's poppin'? Grab yourself a beverage and get comfortable as I attempt to narrate the tale, beginning with day one. I awake before dawn, as I'm greeted with the most agonizing sound man can conjure, the buzzing of the automatic alarm. I walk out into the chilly early morning as my uncle awaits for his personal chauffeur to grab the keys and begin the journey. The road is our pathway, and without careful planning, our undoing. So I grab a surplus of gear, like water, a gas can, a car jack, and load them into the trunk of the Leica. I step into the car, and before we begin our journey, Uncle asks me to pick a route we will be traversing. Jalopy offers 3 options for paths to take. From what I can find, I believe they are randomly generated with the amount of time they take to the weather conditions. So for our first leg of the journey, I pick the laxest path I can find, providing our background with sunny conditions and a gas station partway through. After fumbling with a car door for an embarrassing amount of time, our journey officially begins. Uncle mentions our first step is to Dresden, and from there, we will cross the Czech and Slavic Federal Republic border. We have to cross the border patrol in this game? Oh shit, that would explain the passports being in the grabbable object section near the glove compartment. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, all we have to do is just keep to the road we're on. While the sun is beaming down on us and passing a large collection of trees, directly in the center of what looks like a roundabout is a tank. This is really cool because it reminds me of my real-life family road trips, where we would visit a certain tank every time we'd go to a family vacation spot every couple of years. Radical. So we keep going, and I see this box unopened on the side of the road, covered in what looks like tape sealing the adhesive and cardboard together. I have some extra room in my trunk, so I figure why not and take it with us. Occasionally in a Jalopy playthrough, items will be left over from other travelers. One man's trash could just be my gain to cover expenses. So after loading the box and driving a bit more, we come across a gas station, and now's a good time to take stock of our condition. So far, the car is looking good, and with a quick fill up on gas, we should be ready to hit the road again. If only I could figure out where the gas goes in the Leica. So here's the start of an absolutely ridiculous goof on my part. I walk into the gas station to see what they have and hope to sell the box I found in the road. But I have no idea how to do it. What the hell? Why can't I open the box? I put it on the floor, I put it in a tub where it fits, I tried handing it to the lady behind the counter. Nothing happens. Is the tape just too strong for my low polygon figures? Oh God, do I even have hands? I can interact with stuff, but I don't see any hands. So I just say screw it and I leave the box on the floor. But the gate is closed when I try to leave and I'm stuck. I first begin thinking, did they close while I was figuring out the box situation, because that took quite a while. And then I remembered I didn't pay for the gas I siphoned from the pump. That's a big oops on my part, so I walk back in, and sure enough, as soon as I pay for the gas, the wire gate parts, and we can resume our journey. I felt foolish not to have considered that earlier, and this won't be the last time I made an error in this journey. I'm just thankful I haven't done this in real life. Yet. So, resuming our journey, things are pretty smooth. Uncle begins sharing that he actually made this trip back in the day, and he would have continued if I didn't get us into a light car accident trying to be polite and looking at him while he was talking. But there's no damage on the car, which is all good. Once he decides I'm ready, he resumes his story about doing this journey again, and it's a minor point, but I thought it was cool to hear someone sharing their experience in such a low-key sort of way you would never expect. Kind of like how your parents, you find out there's more that they have going on in their lives besides raising you, which is a pretty cool moment. So while we journey through the tunnel, I begin to think, oh dear God, why is my car smoking? That doesn't look good at all. But while I'm thinking this, I just keep going, hoping my car doesn't explode or something. I don't know if Jalopy does that, but I was getting nervous, it just might. And luckily, we make it to the town of Dresden, and as soon as we park, I pop the hood of my car to see what's going on. It turned out my air filter was decreasing in quality. Jalopy is a game about driving, but it's a game about car maintenance as well. You've got to keep stock of parts to make sure they're functioning well, more than just having enough gas. Wanting to be a respectable and efficient Leica owner, I head to a Leica dealership. I leaf through the catalog and buy a new stock air filter and some red decals to spiffy the car up a bit. I swap out the filter and, in a very eco-friendly move, just throw my old piece on the ground and leave it there. Maybe the raccoons could use it for their trash can cars. Then I slap some nice decals before heading to the motel and bed. So far, the trip has been good, the money has been alright, and the Leica is working well. But that changes on day 2. Day 2 starts out pretty great. I meet Uncle near the car and picking our following route, and as soon as I pick the one that looks interesting, it immediately begins to rain, which is actually kinda sick. So I drive up to the border crossing and begin to think, am I going to hit one of them with my car by mistake? My Leica is looking pretty thick from the driver's side, and I might actually end the trip right here. What if I get arrested if I tap one of the guards unintentionally? But luckily, the car isn't thicker than a bowl of oatmeal, and after showing our papers, we can continue to our next destination to Strovo. As we drive across puddles of mud and water, I notice the car has evolved from producing white smoke to black from the car's hood. That's what we call a possible big yikes. But fate was kind to me at that moment because on the side of the road was a salvaged car waiting for me. And in this game world, much like real life, it operates on the ancient law of dibs. So I run over and pop the hood, seeing what parts have been left over, and as luck would have it, inside the hood is a red carburetor with a current 2 out of 3 durability, which is better than my 1 out of 3. So I save the environment once again and continue on the trip. While making my way out of the gas station, I look at the sky and see this moon looking like a disco ball, and it just makes me think, dude, that's really cool. As silly as this is gonna sound, looking back on the experience now, it reminds me that life is this really beautiful thing. It's hard, it can be unfair, and if you let it, it can keep you down. But then you just get to see things you weren't expecting, and it just makes you realize it can be stunning. And I know it's a game, but it's so cool to see something made by other people, and just let it sink in and say, holy shit, somebody made that, and that's really cool. Just being present and enjoying it. Jalopy may feature a car that can break down whenever it feels like it. Still, it has this meditative quality when you're just driving with a vague destination in mind as Uncle shares stories or facts as you go along. It provides the sense of bliss just thinking about it as I'm recording this. And yeah, it's been a bit of a tangent right now, but sometimes a story just needs a good ramble every now and then. Anyway, we make it to Strovo, and it seems like it's gonna be a quiet night. Until I walk into the front desk and realize I don't have enough money for a room. It's about 20 bucks and I've got about 7. Uncle is not taking it well, so out of desperation, I grab a spare tire I've been holding on to just in case and make my way to a local Leica dealer. But to my surprise, I can't sell it. There's no option to trade it or anything. Things aren't looking great at the moment. But after walking across town, I find a gas station where I can sell my tire, and to my fortune, I can sell it for 20 bucks. Hell yeah. So with the funds, I buy a night in a motel and go to sleep. Things are looking a bit rough for us and we are low on cash, but at least we have ourselves a good night's rest. Day 3 is the deal breaker. This is sadly the point where our journey has come to an end. After picking our route and crossing another border, we made our way into the next town. Money was getting tight, and I thought we might not have enough for gas. However, there was another box on the road, but this one had a padlock, which meant if I could get a hold of a crowbar, I could open it and sell what's inside for a profit. At the next gas station we came across, I took a look, and sure enough, there was a crowbar for $25. So I took a gamble. I sold everything in the car's trunk, from the gas can, water, tire fixer, and even one of my carburetors to just barely afford it. And when I finally got my crowbar and opened the crate up, there were packs of coffee beans inside for $2.30 each. So my gamble didn't pay off, and I tried to buy back some of my equipment, but I couldn't. It seemed like the store didn't have a buyback policy, so everything I sold, including a piece of my car, could not be returned. And without that carburetor, it wouldn't start. And that is where my journey ended. And now you might be thinking, dude, that was super dumb to sell your carburetor, and especially to do so at a gas station. And the only thing I can really say to that is, yeah, I was a little bit of a dumbass right there. But that experience was one of, as weird as it's gonna sound, one of the most engaging experiences in a video game I've had in a while, where the mechanics and everything else just kind of seemed to melt away. And I was so focused to see if I could make it through or salvage this attempt with like trying to open the padlock box to try to see what was inside to have enough money for the hotel or for gas or whatever the case was. It, as cheesy as it's gonna sound, felt real in the sense where that stuff just kind of faded away. And I was just very immersed in this experience. It feels like I haven't had one of those in a while, where I was just so invested in the game, I really just wanted to know what happened next. And it was super cool. I think Jalopy is really fun. It's definitely one of those games where it's very niche. You go into it, and if that sounds like your thing, you're probably going to enjoy it. But if you're not, it's not going to change your mind and go, wow, this completely changes what I think of driving simulators. But it's still really cool. And it almost feels, I could totally see this becoming a meme. It's almost like a roguelike driving simulator because of the randomly generated stuff to it, that a trip could go very successfully on your first attempt, and then the next one could be a complete dumpster fire, and it saves the condition of what your car is in. So if you painted it and added a lot of sweet decals on it to try to impress your fellow drivers, then when you load your game again, you will start off right in the garage, right where you began, with all the effects on your car. And at first, when I heard that, it annoyed me because I was thinking, dude, I just want to get to Turkey. Like, I don't want to have to retread stuff, but because it's randomly generated, the trip can take as long as the game sees fit. And it's really cool. It's super interesting. And even if I didn't succeed, I'm super glad I still got to tell hopefully a fun and entertaining story about it. Which, frankly, I think that's just as good, if not better. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this strange hybrid story time thing about a video game. I usually am known for making recommendation videos on YouTube about stuff that I think is really cool and you might like too. But I kind of want to occasionally do a few miscellaneous things about just keeping it fresh, trying to make some new stuff I think would be cool, even if it doesn't get a lot of views. But yeah, that is Jalopy. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will leave a link to the Steam page if you're interested. And yeah, my name here on YouTube is Pollymacho. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And if you want to, I'll link some of my other videos or like a playlist or something in like the end credit template or whatever it's called. So if you want to watch some of those, you're more than welcome to. But if not, thanks for watching this anyway. And yeah, have a good one.